Welcome back to Make Me a Fan. I'm the Jag.
I'm Pete.
And today it's a little bit different. You've heard of Wrestling Roulette.
Yes,
we're
sir.
doing a little bit different today, Encyclopedia.
Yes, sir.
Would you be kind enough to tell the people exactly what we're doing today?
So normally in Roulette, we would actually go to random.org and put some of these coordinates in. But last time, I teased about spin the wheel, make the deal. So it's going to be dealer's choice today, and we're going to do one of two Halloween Havocs that have spin the wheel, make the deal.
Wow.
First time, we're going to 1992 WCW, and it's Sting versus Jake the Snake, and spin the wheel, make the deal.
Now, just to give you an idea of how old this is, this was my freshman year in high school, all right?
Hell
So this
yeah.
is old as dirt. And did you already say who's in the match?
Yeah, Sting and Jake the Snake.
And Jake the Snake Roberts. Now, we mentioned this match in a previous Roulette not too long ago. Click the link above my head. And yeah, man, I really have no idea what to expect. Is there there's a literal wheel?
Yeah, so good of you to ask. So when you guys go to the WWE Network and we go to WCW 1992, as you're scrolling along in the timeline, there will be one where it says Sting is going to spin this wheel, and it's this huge wheel that has a whole bunch of stipulations on it. So we're going to watch that first, and then we're going to go back down into the titles at the bottom and go straight to the match. It's the last match on the show. So we're going to watch Sting spin the wheel,
okay,
and then we're actually going to see the results.
So this is the main event.
This is the main event of the show.
Wow, Jake Roberts was the main event in 92?
He was.
Wow, okay.
So when he left WWE, he's like, okay, well, hey, WCW loves him. So Jim Herd was there. Jim Herd was the Pepsi slash Pizza Hut guy that came in. So he knew name value. He understood value. So he's like, hey, WWE doesn't want Jake the Snake Roberts. Well, WCW and Turner sure would. So
for sure.
That's why they stuck him right into a main event spot. And this is the same time that Ric Flair was leaving WCW because he hated Jim Herd and all the politics and the BS, because they wanted him to, they took him off the booking committee. And then they actually wanted him to cut his hair.
They wanted Ric Flair to cut his hair?
Oh, that's not even the worst part.
That's insane. Okay.
Then put a 1-carat stud in this ear.
Why?
And you know what they were going to call him?
What?
Spartacus.
No.
Yes.
You're joking.
No.
This is real?
This is legit.
Oh, dear God.
So now you understand. Why do you think so? Why do you think, Ric Flair, who worked for Jim Crockett previously before it got bought by Turner, and then he was the main ship flag guy for that decade with Ted Turner and WCW.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's Ric Flair, long hair, women, limousine, jet flying.
Yes.
All of that. No. Jim Herd was like, no, we're cutting the hair, you're putting an earring in, you're gonna be Spartacus.
And what freaking psycho bad acid trip does this guy think that was gonna work?
Well, clearly that's also why he decided to put Jake Roberts in the main event at Halloween Havoc in the stipulation match. So guys...
Okay, hold on. I have to ask this question. If you knew this, and he's the encyclopedia, so he knows everything. If you knew this, how am I just now hearing about this? This is ludicrous. No wonder he left. Oh my God. You cut Ric Flair's hair?
He wanted to cut Ric Flair's hair. Rick didn't do it. He didn't do it.
That's insane.
And he took the title and went north. He went to New York.
I'm gonna say one thing, and this might be and forgive me if I blaspheme against Ric Flair, okay? Sure. The one thing I've always wondered, because I listen to Jim Cornette's podcast, he talks about all the money these guys were making, so I know Ric Flair was making some good money, okay? How come Ric Flair never fixed his teeth?
Don't know.
It was Strahan, that's always, I've always wondered, you got money for days, get some freaking veneers or something,
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I never understood that. But Ric Flair is not to be trifled with. Ric Flair is a freaking legend, and the hair is legendary. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't cut my hair. Ric Flair better not cut his hair. No wonder he went to freaking Connecticut. I don't blame Ric Flair for 1 minute, and I don't know if Jim Herd's ass is still alive, but he ought to be ashamed of himself.
It's a long list of things that unfortunately didn't work, and then as this was failing, they brought in Cowboy to actually end up trying to run the show as well, and he ended up wanting to run it like he ran Mid-South, and so there was no over-the-top row because that was an automatic disqualification. So all of a sudden you go from bad decisions to old school booking when you're in the 90s, and now you're starting to see the new Attitude Era and the things that we're starting to build towards in the mid-90s to the Attitude.
Yeah, this sounds like a big pile of fail. I mean, I'm hoping the match is good, but I'm not sure.
It's going to be wild, guys. This is a lot of fun. I know there was a lot of babble, but this is a really great match. So watch the Sting spinning the wheel. It's about an hour and a half in. It'll be one of the titles at the bottom, and then we're going to watch the last match.
Hell yeah. So open up a new tab because we're going to press play right about now. We're back. We just finished Sting versus Jake Roberts in the Coal Miner's Glove match. Halloween Havoc 1992 Encyclopedia.
Yes, sir.
Do I have permission to hate a little bit?
Of course.
The last time I hated on social media didn't go so well. I'll have to make sure I don't tag anybody in this one, all right? Damn. Okay, that was not good.
Well, so, Jim Herd's last day at WCW was January of 1992. And that was after the debacle of Ric Flair in 91, firing him and him taking the title to WWF. So clearly that didn't work so well. So they brought in Kip Fry, and he had no clue what he was doing. So guess what? He called out to Cowboy Bill Watts and said, I know somebody that ran Mid-South Wrestling that can do this.
Okay.
And so that's why you kept hearing him hyping, this is an unsanctioned match, and it's okay to be thrown over the top rope.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't count.
Wow.
Yeah. If anybody sanctioned it, I would question some things. But again, this is the Bill Watts era.
Let me just put it this way. Sting finally got the glove.
Yes.
Which just looked like your average work glove with like a little bit of metal on the knuckles. Okay? It was a very lackluster glove, shall we say. Then he hits him with one weak-ass hook to the kidneys, and Jake falls over, but then the snake bites him. Oh my gosh. This was just really bad theater. I told you when they were spinning the wheel, it looked like a really bad, like a high school play. The wheel, first of all, the stinking wheel took like 4 minutes, just to come up out of the ground. Then it had these, looks like Play-Doh snakes, right, with flickering eyes and smoke billowing out. And then the roadie, or I don't know what to call him. What do you call a guy back there?
The AV tech.
The tech comes out and runs the cords and plugs the damn thing in. Oh, God. And then Skinny.
Plugs it in.
Yeah, plugs it in. And then Skinny, Tony Schiavone, looked like Tony Schiavone, right? He comes out and he's like, you ready? And Sting just looks like he's questioning every decision he ever made in his life, okay?
Sting's like, I could have been in WWE, I could have been with Ultimate Warrior, and I'm doing this.
Could have been making that ultimate money. And I'm sure Sting wasn't hurting for cash.
Oh, no.
But his face looked like he was hurting about this stupid gimmick. And not the gimmick, I guess, about the match.
Just the setup. The setup was poor. And honestly, when you look back at it, it doesn't age well and shows that, just a little bit of forethought, just a little bit at all.
Yeah.
Would work.
I mean, let's keep it real, people. I'm gonna be a little hard on it, but he pulls the stupid, looks like a slot machine handle, right? And the wheel doesn't even start. There's a delay between the time that he pulls the handle and the wheel starts. And then when it stops, it's like, even Jesse the Body's like, it's slowing down, JR. And JR's like, it certainly is. The wheel spun forever, okay? And then when it finally starts to slow down, it doesn't slow down and gradually stop at the Coal Miners Club match. It goes somebody hit the brakes. Somebody hit the brakes, and we got a Coal Miners Club match. And I didn't know what it was. Obviously, you'd seen this before. Damn, okay?
And you had mentioned that this was part of the 10 of the worst matches that should have been amazing.
That should have been great. This should have been awesome. It could have been awesome, and I don't think it was a bad match. Well, you know what? It had a bad ending.
There's some struggles with that because again, you have a WCW that is changing. They're trying to go back to like the 80s style after the 90s had already happened, and you have that revolution of like, stars they wear bright colors and all these other things, and we can't make it like old wrestling.
Yeah, and I mean,
and that's what this suffered from.
And that's kind of the identity crisis of wrestling at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
Because you had over in the WWE, you had what, Michaels and Bret Hart, and
right. So this is still new. This is the new generation era. So we're just leaving. We're just starting to leave.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw is just around the corner. That's just starting to become a thing.
Okay,
so we're turning the corner where they're not relying so heavily on Hogan.
Yeah. I mean, this is a weird kind of a transitional period in wrestling as a whole.
Right.
And it looks like WCW was having a hard time finding their way. So I don't want to crap all over it because someday I will shake Sting's hand and I'll say, I love your work. And I don't want to lie to the man when I do it.
Oh, no, but I think that'll be one of those fun ones where you can bring up spin the wheel, make a deal. And I imagine it's just going to be like, there was a lot of misses, but there was also a lot of positives.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. We were talking about that during the show. The Sting, Sting as the Crow was a very interesting, I hated it at first.
Sure.
Because I was like, why are you just blatantly knocking off the Crow?
And then all of a sudden you have an 18-month build to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I remember watching it in real time. I remember that Fall Brawl. When that happened, and it's Fall Brawl 96, and then it goes all the way until December of 1997 before we even get a...
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just say this. I think Sting is underrated.
Oh, for sure.
For the most part, this match, he is maybe overrated for this match?
This is an unfortunately forgettable match, but there were some interesting elements that kind of said, you know what, I don't think the old school system of wrestling works like that anymore.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you see Jake come out, they give his hometown and his weight and his music hits and everything, and it's like, okay, that's Jake, he looks like Jake.
But I told you that music, that intro music wasn't for long for him, because then it became the music for the Hollywood Blondes for Steve Austin and Brian Pillman.
Which is
because
awesome.
Like now when you say Hollywood Blondes to anybody that knows wrestling, they're like dun 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 dun. I mean, like, because that was like that amazing iconic music.
Yeah.
But like Jake Roberts had it here because at the time he was the big star coming in. They had to give him big star music.
Yeah, and it sounded great. And I mean, of course, then we had Cactus Jack come out with the snake. The snake ends up biting Jake and whatever. So, I mean, it was cool, I guess. I think that if I had bought this pay-per-view in 1992 and that's how it ended, I'd have been a little pissed.
Understood.
I might have wanted my money back. And that's no disrespect to Mr. Roberts, who had a fantastic promo on Dynamite the other day. It's good to see him still around the business. Of course, if you followed Jake Roberts' career, you know it went down, 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 and then it kind of came back with the help from his friends. So I'm glad to see him doing well, doing better. But yeah, I could tell this wasn't his best outing and the best phase of his career, shall we say.
But on that note, let's try again. Let's try one more time. Let's try one more spin the wheel, make the deal. Possibly this one might be a little bit better, and in fact, you did mention one of the participants just a minute ago.
I did.
Cactus Jack.
Okay, Cactus Jack.
Tomorrow, Halloween Havoc 1993 against Vader in Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal.
Okay.
So maybe we can redeem ourselves.
All right, okay. Now, wasn't it Vader that he lost his ear against? This isn't that match. That was in Japan.
That was in Germany.
Germany, okay. All right, well, hey, the Encyclopedia knows everything. I know nothing. He's showing me the world like Aladdin, okay? So I guess tomorrow we're going to get more spinning the wheel and making the deal with Mick
9 a.m. 9 a.m. Pacific.
9 a.m.
Pacific. Noon Eastern. We're going to spin the wheel one more time and see what we come up with.
With Mick Foley, Cactus Jack versus Big Van Vader, or just Vader.
No, there's Big Van Vader.
Big Van Vader. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 9.